Okay, in your own words, what would you define rape culture as?
I would define rape culture as basically societies or others as such, as trying to make it seem as though the perpetrator is, they're trying to support the perpetrator more, as it's normal, and basically they should not be trying to make the more wrong into more right. Basically the victim is not getting as much support as they should due to the fact that we're trying to make the perpetrator seem as though they're doing much less wrong than what is actually shown.
In your own words, what would you define rape culture as?
I think rape culture is when the justice system is not as hard on rapists and potential rape cases as they really should be, considering how serious the crime is.
Okay. Have you personally been affected by rape culture?
Personally, I don't think I have, at least not yet, but that's not to say I won't.
Okay, in your own words, what is rape culture?
Rape culture is when our culture and our society condones. Okay. It's when our culture and our society condones rape by placing the blame on the victim, the girl.
So do you think the United States and other countries tend to be very passive when it comes to rapists and sexual assaulters?
We don't do nearly enough to help the girls that are a victim of that, and we always put the blame on them in whichever way that we can. It's either the way I dressed, or I was provoking him, or it's always the girl's fault, and I don't think that's right.
Do you think the male victims are ever recognized?
The male victims, I don't really hear a lot about them. I don't think they get as much recognition as they should, and I don't know if that's right either, because they're just as much as a victim as we are.
So how have you personally been affected by rape culture?
I get catcalled a lot at school, and I can get sexually harassed and stuff, and it makes me feel really uncomfortable just as a person, and it makes me be kind of afraid to be in my own skin. It makes me afraid to look nice, because our society has pounded into our heads that if I look nice and wear a nice outfit, if I get sexually assaulted, it's my fault.
So it's almost like you're asking for it, or you
Yeah.
want it.
And I'm not asking for it. I don't wish that on anybody, and nobody wants that for themselves. So how is it my fault?
So how have you been affected by rape culture?
Walking home from school, and even just in public with my friends and stuff, I get yelled at a lot by random guys that I don't even know, from their cars, or walking around in the mall or something. And I remember in freshman year I had this one skirt I really liked to wear, but every time I wore it outside I got catcalled in it, so I ended up giving it away.
Do you think we are doing enough to stop rape culture? And if not, what else do you think we can do?
I do not think we're doing enough to stop rape culture, because I think there is a lot of victim blaming going on right now. We kind of expect girls to carry rape whistles, or have those carry their keys in their fingers, and they're expected to stop rape, but we're not telling boys not to rape girls in the first place. So I think we need to have a bit of an attitude change about that, and then we'll start seeing improvements.
Okay, so in your own words, what is rape culture?
Rape culture is when it's kind of like a chronic boys will be boys attitude, I think, where it's they feel entitled to women's bodies, and they feel like they can, women are just objects that they can use whenever they want.
Have you personally been affected by rape culture?
Me personally, no. But I do know of other people who have been. And I have seen the effects it has on their lives.
So, can you give an example?
Well, my sister always tells me about how when she is walking home at night, she is uncertain about her safety because she always feels threatened by other people, just random strangers in the night. She doesn't know if she'll get home safely.
Okay, do you think we are doing enough to stop it? And if not, what do you think we can do?
I don't think we're doing enough to stop it, because there's a lot of uncertainty in rape culture. There's uncertainty about whether the victim deserved it, or not necessarily deserved it. That sounds completely wrong, actually, but it's failure to recognize the fact that regardless of the circumstances, rape is rape, and it's still immoral regardless of the circumstances and how it occurs.
So regardless of sex, race,
Yeah,
gender.
regardless of all that, rape is rape and rape is immoral.
Yeah.
Everyone agrees that rape is immoral, and at the end of the day, it's wrong, no matter what, and that's just what everyone needs to understand.
All right. In your own words, what is rape culture?
Rape culture is sort of when how society like just allows rape to happen and how it allows like suggestive like arts and ads and things to be in our society and around like our children and people of our ages.
Do you think oftentimes rapists are properly prosecuted, or do you think that the victims get the justice they deserve?
Not always. It depends sometimes about the evidence and such.
So do you think victims are oftentimes wrongly blamed for their own rape?
Yes.
Okay. Have you personally been affected by rape culture?
Yes, because I personally sometimes I'm afraid of going to certain places or seeing anyone who looks shady because of how people have always told me, oh, this will happen to you if you wear this certain shirt or something.
So do you think we kind of teach don't get raped instead of don't rape?
Yes.
Do you think that society is doing enough to stop rape culture?
No, not at all.
What do you think we can do in the future to make sure that we make it a better culture for women and men?
We could try getting rid of all the suggestive ads because that's one of the number one things that promotes it. And then also the things about how the dress codes are so strict for just girls. Like how, like I saw this article a few months ago about this kindergartner who she got sent out of school because she had her like strapless, like it had straps. It was like spaghetti strap, long dress,
Yeah.
but she's a kindergartner, so.
So do you think like sexism in the media and stuff play a lot into it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, have you personally been affected by rape culture, and if so, how?
I think it personally affects me and other people my age because of going off into colleges and seeing a lot of fraternities pull stuff and like make posters about how it's okay and how that they're actually going to do it, and knowing that if you do like go and drink something that it probably or maybe will be roofied and stuff, and I think that affects our perceptions on getting an education and going into college and having experiences in colleges.
All right. Do you think that we are doing enough to stop rape culture?
I do not think that we are doing enough to stop rape culture because a lot of people don't think it exists or don't like credit it to happening or see it happening publicly, and they support a lot of athletes and men who do it who are good at sports.
So what do you think we could do in order to prevent further implementation?
I think we could change it so no one has an excuse for doing it. So no one, it's not how she was dressed or how the victim does it. It's the rapist's fault.